Town and Then News Wikipedia News Edition. Season 1 Remastered.
Yep, this is the new series that we planned in 2023, and this episode is for replacing the old 2020 episode due to because of outdated videos.
And this episode will bring more information about these famous companies from the same episode and the same company in the order.
Anyways, on first episode is Skype.
Sorry if I don't see you. Keep in mind I'm not here from a different world.
Skype is a proprietary telecommunications application operated by Skype Technologies, a division of Microsoft, best known for VoIP-based video telephony, video conferencing, and voice calls.
It also has instant messaging, file transfer, debit-based calls to landline and mobile telephones over traditional telephone networks, and other features.
Skype is available on various desktop, mobile, and video game console platforms. Skype was created by Niklas Zennström, Janus Friis, and 4 Estonian developers and first released in August 2003.
In September 2005, eBay acquired Skype for $2.6 billion.
In September 2009, Silver Lake, Andreessen Horowitz, and the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board bought 65% of Skype for $1.9 billion from eBay, valuing the business at $2.92 billion.
In May 2011, Microsoft bought Skype for $8.5 billion and used it to replace their Windows Live Messenger.
As of 2011, most of the development team and 44% of all the division's employees were in Tallinn and Tartu, Estonia. Skype originally featured a hybrid peer-to-peer and client-server system.
It became entirely powered by Microsoft, operated supernodes in May 2012. In 2017, it changed from a peer-to-peer service to a centralized Azure-based service.
As of February 2023, Skype was used by 36 million people each day. The name for the software is derived from Skype Peer-to-Peer, which was then abbreviated to Skyper.
However, some of the domain names associated with Skyper were already taken.
Dropping the final R left the current title, Skype, for which domain names were available. Skype was founded in 2003 by Niklas Zennström from Sweden and Janus Friis from Denmark.
The Skype software was created by Estonian Janus Friis, Tallinn and Tartu.
Friis and Nuss are credited with the idea of reducing the cost of voice calls by using a P2P protocol like that of Casa.
An early alpha version was created and tested in spring 2003, and the first public beta version was released on 29 August 2003.
In June 2005, Skype entered an agreement with the Polish web portal Onet.pl for an integrated offering on the Polish market.
On 12 September 2005, eBay Incorporated agreed to acquire Luxembourg-based Skype Technologies SA for approximately US $2.5 billion in upfront cash and eBay stock, plus potential performance-based consideration.
On 1 September 2009, eBay announced it was selling 65% of Skype to Silver Lake, Andreessen Horowitz, and the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board for US $1.9 billion, valuing Skype at US $2.75 billion.
On 14 July 2011, Skype partnered with Comcast to bring its video chat service to Comcast subscribers via HDTV sets.
On 17 June 2015, Skype released a free video messaging service, which can be operated on Windows, Mac OS, iOS, iPad OS, Android, and BlackBerry. Between 2017 and 2020, Skype collaborated with PayPal to provide a money send feature.
It allowed users to transfer funds via the Skype mobile app in the middle of a conversation.
In 2019, Skype was announced to be the sixth most downloaded mobile app of the decade, from 2010 to 2019. On 10 May 2011, Microsoft Corporation acquired Skype Communications, SARL, for US $8.5 billion.
The company was incorporated as a division of Microsoft, which acquired all its technologies with the purchase.
The acquisition was completed on 15 October 2011.
Shortly after the acquisition, Microsoft began integrating the Skype service with its own products.
Along with taking over the development of existing Skype desktop and mobile apps, the company developed a dedicated client app for its then newly released, touch-focused Windows 8 and Windows RT operating systems.
They were made available from Windows Store when the then new OS launched on 26 October 2012.
The following year, it became the default messaging app for Windows 8.1, replacing the Windows 8 messaging app at the time, and became pre-installed software on every device that came with or upgraded to 8.1. In a month-long transition, from 8 to 30 April 2015, Microsoft discontinued two of its own products in favor of Skype, including its Windows Live Messenger instant messaging service, although Messenger continued to be available in mainland China until October 2014. On 11 November 2014, Microsoft announced that in 2015, its Link product would be replaced by Skype for Business.
This combined features of Link and the consumer Skype software.
There are two user interfaces. Organizations could switch their users between the default Skype for Business interface to the Link interface. On 12 August 2015, Skype released the 4.10 update to the app for Apple iPhone and iPad that allows HD quality video for iPhone 5 and 4th generation iPads. On 20 November 2014, Microsoft Office's team announced that a new chat, powered by Skype, would be implemented in their software, giving tools to be able to chat with coworkers in the same document. On 15 September 2015, Skype announced the release of Mojis, a brand new way to express yourself on Skype.
Mojis are short clips/GIFs featuring characters from films and TV shows to be entered into conversations with the same ease as emoticons.
They worked with Universal Studios, Disney Muppets, BBC and other studios to add to the available collection of Mojis.
Later that year, Gurmeet Singh Paul, corporate vice president of Skype, announced that Microsoft had acquired the technology from Taco.
In July 2016, Skype introduced an early alpha version of a new Skype for Linux client, built with WebRTC technology after several petitions had asked Microsoft to continue development for Linux.
In September of that year, Skype updated their iOS app with new features, including an option to call contacts on Skype through Siri voice commands.
In October of that year, Microsoft launched Skype for Business for Mac. In February 2017, Microsoft announced plans to discontinue its Skype Wi-Fi service globally.
The application was delisted and the service itself became non-functional from 31 March 2017.
On 5 June 2017, Microsoft announced its plans to revamp Skype with similar features to Snapchat, allowing users to share temporary copies of their photos and video files.
In late June 2017, Microsoft rolled out their latest update for iOS, incorporating a revamped design and new third-party integrations with platforms including FiChat, YouTube, and Upworthy.
It was not well received, with numerous negative reviews and complaints that the new client broke existing functionality.
Skype later removed this makeover.
In December 2017, Microsoft added Skype Interviews, a shared code editing system for those wishing to hold job interviews for programming roles. Microsoft eventually moved the service from a peer-to-peer to a central server-based system, and with it adjusted the user interfaces of apps to make text-based messaging more prominent than voice calling.
Skype for Windows, iOS, Android, Mac and Linux all received significant visual overhauls at this time.
Skype Technologies SARL, also known as Skype Software SARL, Skype Communications SARL, Skype Incorporated, and Skype Limited, is a telecommunications company headquartered in Luxembourg City, Luxembourg, whose chief business is the manufacturing and marketing of the video chat and instant messaging computer software program Skype, and various internet telephony services associated with it.
Microsoft purchased the company in 2011, and it has since then operated as their wholly owned subsidiary. As of 2016, it is operating as part of Microsoft's Office product group.
The company is a Society Response Satellite Limited, or SARL, equivalent to an American limited liability company. Skype, a voice-over IP, VoIP, service, was first released in 2003 as a way to make free computer-to-computer calls, or reduced rate calls, from a computer to telephones.
Support for paid services such as calling landline/mobile phones from Skype, formerly called Skype Out, allowing landline/mobile phones to call Skype, formerly called Skype In, and now Skype Number, and voice messaging generates the majority of Skype's revenue.
eBay acquired Skype Technologies SA in September 2005 and in April 2009 announced plans to spin it off in a 2010 initial public offering, IPO.
In September 2009, Silver Lake, Andreessen Horowitz and the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board announced the acquisition of 65% of Skype for $1.9 billion from eBay, valuing the business at $2.75 billion.
Skype was acquired by Microsoft in May 2011 for $8.5 billion, $10.3 billion in 2021. As of 2010, Skype was available in 27 languages and has 660 million worldwide users, an average of over 100 million active each month, and has faced challenges to its intellectual property amid political concerns by governments wishing to control telecommunications systems within their borders. Skype was founded in 2003 by Janus Friis from Denmark and Niklas Zennström from Sweden, having its headquarters in Luxembourg with offices now in Berlin, Frankfurt, Tallinn, Tartu, Stockholm, London, Palo Alto, Prague, and Redmond, Washington.
The Skype software was originally developed by Estonian TaBNWNE, Proprietary and Jean Tallinn, who together with Janus Friis and Niklas Zennström were also behind the peer-to-peer file sharing software Kazaa.
In April 2003, Skype.com and Skype.net domain names were registered.
In August 2003, the first public beta version was released.
One of the initial names for the project was Skype Peer-to-Peer, which was then abbreviated to Skyper.
However, some of the domain names associated with Skyper were already taken.
Dropping the final R left the current title, Skype, for which domain names were available.
In September 2005, Skype Out was banned in China.
In October October of the same year, eBay purchased Skype for $2.6 billion.
In 2011, the Ars Technica estimated the purchase price at $3.1 billion, not $2.6 billion.
In December 2005, videotelephony was introduced.
In April 2006, the number of registered users reached 100 million.
In October 2006, Skype 2.0 for Mac was released, the first full release of Skype with video for Macintosh, and in December, Skype announced a new pricing structure with connection fees for all Skype out calls.
Skype 3.0 for Windows was released.
In 2006, a feature called Skype Casting was introduced as a beta.
It allowed recordings of Skype voice over IP voice calls and teleconferences to be used as podcasts.
Skype Casting remained in beta until it was discontinued on 1 September 2008.
Skype casts hosted public conference calls for up to 100 people at a time.
Unlike ordinary Skype P2P conference calls, Skype casts supported moderation features suitable for panel discussions, lectures, and town hall forums.
Skype operated a directory of public Skype casts.
Throughout 2007, updates 3.1, 3.2, and 3.5 added new features including Skype Find, Skype Prime, Send Money, which allowed users to send money via PayPal from one Skype user to another. Video in Mood, inclusion of video, content in chat, call transfer to another person or a group, and auto redial.
Whoa!
Skype 2.7.0.49 beta for Mac OS X released adding availability of contacts in the Mac address book to the Skype contact list. Auto redial, contact groups, public chat creation, and an in-window volume slider in the call window.
During several days in August, Skype users were unable to connect to full Skype network in many countries because of a Skype system-wide crash, which was the result of exceptional number of logins after a Windows patch reboot. Patch Tuesday.
In November, there was controversy when it was announced that users allocated certain London 020 numbers, specifically those beginning 7870, would lose them after negotiations with a provider of this batch of numbers broke down.
By early 2008, the tumultuous ownership relations between the founders and eBay had resulted in significant leadership churn, with a succession of Skype presidents including Niklas Zennström, Rajiv Gupta, Alex Kazim, Niklas Zennström again, and Henry Gomez, all holding that title at various points between 2005 and 2007.
The business had failed to meet certain earnout targets, growth was decelerating, product development had slowed significantly, and in October 2007 eBay took a $1.4 billion impairment on the value of Skype, admitting it had overpaid, and now valuing the company at about $2.7 billion.
In October 2008, analysis revealed Tom Skype, the Chinese version of Skype run by Tom Online, sends content and text messages and encryption keys to monitoring servers.
For the 6 months after the departure of Zennström and Friis, Michael Van Sway led the company as interim CEO until the appointment of Josh Silverman in February 2008.
Silverman was widely viewed as bringing instability to Skype after a tumultuous phase that followed the exit of the two Skype co-founders.
Under Silverman's 2.5-year tenure, the company focused its product efforts around video calling ubiquity, gaining high penetration on smartphones, PCs, TVs, and consumer electronic devices, building tailored offerings for enterprise customers, and diversifying revenue through subscriptions, premium accounts, and advertising.
In advancing this strategy, Skype released many new products, substantially revamping its flagship Windows software 3.8 to 4.0 and its Mac OS and Linux software, while introducing new software products for smartphones and consumer electronics.
In 2009, Skype 4.0 was released, featuring full-screen high-quality video calling.
The Linux client was updated and an iPhone application was launched which topped the charts with over 1 million downloads in its first 2 days.
Skype also announced the launch of its software for the Android platform.
During this period, Skype also discontinued lesser-used services such as support for the Skype Me presence indicator, which meant that a user was interested in receiving Skype calls from a non-contact.
Skype also discontinued its Skype cast service without explanation and added internal monthly and daily usage caps on their Skype Out subscriptions, which had been advertised as unlimited.
Skype also discontinued its Dragonfly feature, a community-generated Yellow Pages product, and other features which were deemed to be underperforming or a distraction to management.
Many users and observers had commented on the high rate of dropped calls and the difficulty reconnecting dropped calls.
Updates including versions for the Sony PSP handheld gaming system, version 2.0 for Linux with support for video conferencing.
As part of its efforts to diversify revenues, Skype launched in April 2008 Skype for SIP, a service aimed at business users.
At that time, around 35% of Skype's users were business users.
In targeted premium products to consumers, Skype launched new monthly premium subscriptions products in May 2010.
Marketing efforts were also revamped, with a particular focus on innovative partnerships with TV broadcasters to integrate Skype into their programming.
The Oprah Winfrey Show began using Skype regularly to host video calls between Oprah and her viewers at home, culminating in a show dedicated exclusively to the wonders of Skype. Where the Skype Are You aired first in May 2009.
Skype also became commonly used by network news stations around the world as a cost-effective replacement for sending satellite trucks and enabling fast response from citizen journalists.
Skype was also integrated into scripted TV programming, such as Californication, and in the 7th season of the U.S. syndicated version of the British game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. In the new Ask the Expert video chat lifeline.
These efforts led to accelerating growth of Skype's connected users and paying users, and by 2009 Skype was adding about 380,000 new users each day.
By the end of 2009, Skype was generating around US $740 million in revenue.
In January 2010, Josh Silverman was recognized for his accomplishments at Skype by being named first runner-up in the TechCrunch's award for Best CEO, beaten only by Mark Pincus of Zynga.
Building on the revitalization which had begun in 2008, eBay announced in April 2009 plans to spin off Skype through an initial public offering in 2010.
In August, Jolted Limited filed a motion with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission seeking to terminate a licensing agreement with eBay, which allowed eBay, and therefore Skype, to use the peer-to-peer communications technology on which Skype is based.
If successful, this could have caused the shutdown of Skype as it existed and made an IPO challenging to execute.
In In September, eBay announced the sale of 65% of Skype to a consortium of Index Ventures and Silver Lake Partners.
Early in September, Skype shut down the Extras developer program.
In November, Skype settled the jolted litigation and acquired all Skype technology in exchange for equity in the company, and eBay completed the sale of 70% of Skype to a consortium comprising Silver Lake Partners, Jolted, CPPIB, and Andreessen Horowitz for approximately $2 billion, valuing the entire business at US $2.75 billion.
In May 2010, Skype 5.0 beta was released, with the capacity to support group video calls involving up to 4 participants.
Also in May, Skype released an updated client for the Apple iPhone that allowed Skype calls to be made over a 3G network.
Originally, a 3G call subscription plan was to be instituted in 2011, but Skype eventually dropped the plan.
Rounding out its ubiquity push, Skype also announced the integration of Skype software into the IP-connected TVs from Panasonic, Samsung, and Sony.
In June 2010, following the rapid departure of Daniel Berg, the Chief Technology Officer and then Chief Development Officer Matthew Yarlagadda, Mark Gillett, an operating partner at Silver Lake Partners, assumed the role of Chief Development Officer, taking responsibility for development of Skype's client software, cloud services and product management following a period of several months working closely with Joshua Silverman to drive the transformation of the business and the acceleration of cross-platform and mobile product delivery.
With its newfound independence and under-ownership, Skype's growth accelerated, and by 2010, Telegeography estimated that Skype accounted for 25% of the world's international calling minutes.
According to their research, the overall international calling market grew a tepid 5 to 6% annually in 2010.
Skype, however, has seen a huge uptick in growth, particularly in the last 2 years.
On 9 August 2010, Skype filed with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to raise up to US $100 million in an initial public offering.
Sources reported that the company expected to raise at least US $1 billion.
In October 2010, Skype announced the appointment of Tony Bates as CEO. Bates was a senior VP at Cisco and was responsible for its multi-billion-dollar enterprise, commercial and small business division.
On 14 October 2010, Skype 5.0 for Windows was released with a number of improvements and feature additions, including a Facebook tab to allow users to SMS, chat with, or call their Facebook friends via Skype from the news feed.
The Search for Skype Users option was omitted from this version.
On 14 January 2011, Skype acquired Chick, a mobile video sharing platform.
In March 2011, Skype named Jonathan Chadwick as its new Chief Financial Officer and confirmed that Mark Gillett would serve full-time as Chief Development and Operating Officer following the departure of Chief Financial and Administrative Officer Adrian Dillon.
On 10 May 2011, Microsoft announced it had agreed to acquire Skype for $8.5 billion.
This marked a 300% increase in value for the company in the 3 years since the eBay write-down in October 2007.
This constitutes Microsoft's second largest acquisition to date.
It was announced that Skype will become a division within Microsoft, with Skype's former CEO Tony Bates, now its president, reporting to Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer.
The price Microsoft agreed to pay for the company is 32 times Skype's operating profits.
According to the Financial Times, this raises fears of a new tech bubble.
Ars Technica and the BBC have questioned the value for Microsoft in the purchase.
Microsoft's acquisition of Skype got EU approval on 7 October 2011.
In October 2012, 1 year after the closure of the Skype acquisition, the newly formed Skype division took responsibility for Microsoft's other VoIP and unified communications product, Microsoft Link.
On 11 July 2013, Microsoft's then CEO Steve Ballmer announced a reorganization of Microsoft along functional lines and with 4 engineering groups each led by a senior leader.
Microsoft's new Applications and Services Group, led by Executive Vice President Kai Lu, was to include Skype along with Bing and Microsoft Office.
Following a period where the strategy for the Skype business as a part of the broader Microsoft portfolios including Office 365 was established, and Skype's share of the international communications market rose to 36%, over 214 billion minutes. Mark Gillett announced that he would be leaving Microsoft to return to Silver Lake.
In September 2016, after Kai Lu stepped down from Microsoft, Skype and Office became part of the Office Product Group, led by Rajesh Jha.
The other part of the former Apps and Services Group, which includes Bing, became part of a new AI and Research Group.
The Skype North American headquarters was opened in early 2015 after the design was completed by San Francisco architect firm Bliss.
Located in Palo Alto, California, the space is designed to encourage interaction and spontaneity while also introducing a sense of humor into the workplace.
Fake lawn, cushions that look like boulders, open spaces, and high ceilings accommodate 250 employees in a 5,000 square meters, 54,000 square feet building.
The Palo Alto headquarters also houses a games room complete with a pool table and table football machine.
The Office's Silver LED Silver certification means that it received between 50 and 59 points for its environmentally friendly construction. In its 2008 annual report, eBay admitted to an ongoing dispute between it and Jolted Limited over the licensing of its peer-to-peer global index technology and its application.
It announced that it terminated a standstill agreement, allowing either company to sue.
On 1 April 2009, eBay filed with a UK court to settle a legal dispute.
A few days later, eBay announced the planning of a public stock offering in 2010 to spin off Skype as a separate, publicly owned company.
Some media outlets characterized the proposed sale and ongoing provision of Skype as being under threat because of the concurrent dispute. On 1 September 2009, a group of investors led by Silver Lake bought 65% of Skype for $1.91 billion, $2.38 billion in 2021.
This prompted Jolted to countersue eBay on 17 September 2009.
Both settled the simultaneous suits in November, resulting in Jolted's part ownership of the newly formed Skype Limited.
The final holding share were with Silver Lake reducing their share to 56%. Jolted entered at 14%, and eBay retained 30%.
Streamcast Networks filed a complaint in U.S. District Court in Los Angeles, alleging theft of its peer-to-peer technology in violation of the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations statute.
The complaint titled Streamcast Networks Incorporated v Skype Technologies, SA, was filed on 20 January 2006 in federal court in the Central District of California on assigned case number 2-2006-CV00391.
The $4.1 billion lawsuit did not name Skype's parent company, eBay, when initially filed.
Streamcast's lawsuit was subsequently amended on 22 May 2006 to include eBay and 21 other party defendants.
In its lawsuit, Streamcast sought a worldwide injunction on the sale and marketing of eBay's Skype Internet voice communication products, as well as billions of dollars in unspecified damages.
The lawsuit was finally dismissed in a decision filed on 19 January 2007.
On 1 June 2006, Net2Phone, the Internet Telephone Unit of IDT Corp., filed a lawsuit against eBay and Skype accusing the unit of infringing U.S. Patent 6,108,704, which was granted in 2000.
The lawsuit was settled between the parties in 2010.
In July 2007, Skype was found to be guilty by a German court of violating the GNU General Public License in one of its for-sale products, the SMCWSKQ100. Skype was one of many companies, others include AOL, Microsoft, Yahoo, Cisco, which cooperate with the Chinese government in implementing a system of internet censorship in mainland China.
Critics of such policies argue that it is wrong for companies to profit from censorship and restrictions on freedom of the press and freedom of speech.
Human rights advocates such as Human Rights Watch and media groups such as Reporters Without Borders speculate that if companies stopped contributing to the authorities' censorship efforts, the government could be pressured to change. Niklas Zennström, then chief executive of Skype, told reporters that its joint venture partner in China was operated in compliance with domestic law.
TaBNWNE had implemented a text filter, which is what everyone else in that market is doing, said Zennström.
Those are the regulations, he said.
I may like or not like the laws and regulations to operate businesses in the UK or Germany or the US, but if I do business there I choose to comply with those laws and regulations. I can try to lobby to change them, but I need to comply with them. China in that way is not different.
In September 2005, the French Ministry of Research, acting on advice from the General Secretariat of National Defense, issued an official disapproval of the use of Skype in public research and higher education. Some services are interpreting this decision as an outright ban.
The exact reasons for the decision were not given.
In May 2006, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, successfully applied the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act to allow wiretapping on digital phone networks.
Skype was not compliant with the act and stated that it does not plan to comply.
Starting in November 2010, Skype has been participating in a U.S. government spy program titled PRISM, allowing the National Security Agency, NSA, unfettered access to people's chats and video and audio communications.
However, it was not until February 2011 that the company was formally served with a directive to comply, signed by the Attorney General.
In March 2015, the company issued transparency reports.
Confirming long-held beliefs that Skype responds to requests from governments.
Microsoft's General Counsel wrote to the U.S. Attorney General outlining the company's concerns in July 2015 in a blog from Brad Smith, including a copy of the letter to the U.S. Attorney. Registered users of Skype are identified by a unique Skype ID and may be listed in the Skype directory under a Skype username.
Skype allows these registered users to communicate through both instant messaging and voice chat.
Voice chat allows telephone calls between pairs of users and conference calling and uses proprietary audio codec.
Skype's text chat client allows group chats, emoticons, storing chat history, and editing of previous messages.
Offline messages were implemented in a beta build of version 5 but removed after a few weeks without notification.
The usual features familiar to instant messaging users, user profiles, online status indicators, and so on, are also included.
The online number, aka Skype service allows Skype users to receive calls on their computers dialed by conventional phone subscribers to a local Skype phone number. Local numbers are available for Australia, Belgium, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Denmark, the Dominican Republic, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Hungary, India, Ireland, Japan, Mexico, Nepal, New Zealand, Poland, Romania, South Africa, South Korea, Sweden, Switzerland, Turkey, the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and the United States.
A Skype user can have local numbers in any of these countries with calls to the number charged at the same rate as calls to fixed lines in the country.
Skype supports conference calls, video chats, and screen sharing between 25 people at a time for free, which then increased to 50 on 5 April 2019. Skype does not provide the ability to call emergency numbers, such as 112 in Europe, 911 in North America, 999 in the UK, or 100 in India and Nepal.
However, as of December 2012, there is limited support for emergency calls in the United Kingdom, Australia, Denmark, and Finland.
The U.S. Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has ruled that, for the purposes of Section 255 of the Telecommunications Act, Skype is not an interconnected VoIP provider.
As a result, the U.S. National Emergency Number Association recommends that all VoIP users have an analog line available as a backup.
In 2019, Skype added an option to blur the background in a video chat interface using AI algorithms purely done using software, despite a depth-sensing camera not being present in most webcams. In 2023, Skype added the Vin AI chatbot to the platform for users who had access to the chatbot. Skype offers a number of features based around calling, both free and paid messaging, including instant voice and text messaging, SMS, video chat, and file and screen sharing.
The following is a partial list of Skype's features.
Skype allows users to send instant messages to other users in their contact list.
Messages sent to offline users are stored on Skype servers and will be delivered to their recipients as soon as they come online on Skype.
Chat history along with a message status will be synchronized across all user devices supported by Skype whenever the user signs in with the same Skype account. Although Skype allows sending SMS messages, it is not possible to receive SMS messages on Skype, so users need a different way to receive responses to the messages they send using Skype.
This has been a cause of angst among users who purchase Skype as an alternative to a mobile phone, because Microsoft will not refund any purchases, even for users who discover this missing feature only after purchasing multi-year contracts.
Other than in user complaints on the Microsoft Skype forums, there is no mention on Microsoft or Skype websites that when they say send SMS messages, that is just what they mean. Users can send but they cannot receive SMS messages. Skype keeps user instant messaging history on user's local computer and on Skype's cloud for 30 days.
Users cannot control how long their chat histories are stored on Skype servers but can configure that option individually for every their device.
Once user signs into Skype on a new device, the conversation history is synced with Skype's cloud and stored locally.
Skype allows users to remove or edit individual messages during 1 hour after sending. This affects messages already received by chat interlocutors as well as not delivered to them yet.
Skype allows users to delete all saved conversation histories for the device. Users can send about 254 emoticons that are displayed either statically or animated, depending on user settings.
There are also hidden emoticons, 241 flags and 63 other.
On special occasions, Skype introduces featured emoticons that are later either left as standard, anger, left as hidden, mooning, or removed, captain.
Sending an empty message is not possible.
Formatting text is possible. Text creates bold text. Underline creates italic text. Code, text, code, applies mono-space font and text, creates strike-through text.
Writing to X at the beginning of a message will disable any formatting in the message.
Placing 2 exclamation points and a space at the beginning of a message will send the entire message in mono-space font.
A more convenient way to disable formatting for small pieces of text is to use text instead of code, text, code.
Turning off formatting permanently can be achieved with a command/wiki markup off. Users are able to quote other messages by copying them and pasting them into a new message.
A quote shows the message, the original sender, and the timestamp of the original message.
The feature is seen as controversial and often useless because people have found ways to create custom quotes. Skype users can call landline and mobile phone numbers, previously known as Skype Out, using Skype credit or a call-in subscription.
Additionally, users can purchase a Skype number, previously called Skype In, an online number that lets contacts call their Skype client from a landline or mobile phone.
The ability to call landline or mobile phones from Skype was originally branded as Skype Out, but this term has been dropped in favor of calls to mobiles and landlines.
Whoa! Skype users can call phone numbers, including landline and mobile phones, for a fee using prepaid Skype credit or a subscription. See below.
This fee can be as low as US $0.02 per minute for most developed countries and as high as US $6.80 per minute for calls to the Inmarsat numbers. In January 2007, Skype introduced a €0.03 connection fee for each call that connected to a landline or mobile number. After 180 days of inactivity, a user's Skype credit balance is deactivated, however, it can be reactivated. On 19 December 2006, Skype announced that there would be a new pricing structure in 2007.
Whoa! Details of the new scheme were released 18 January 2007.
The initial press release was vague about the new scheme, but it did reveal that there may be a new connection fee. In January 2007, Skype launched Skype Pro, a prepaid unlimited call subscription for calls that were made inside North America.
Skype's unlimited calling offers unlimited calls to anyone on any phone within the US and Canada for a one-time, for example, annual fee.
As of April 21, 2008, Skype Pro was replaced by new calling subscription plans, which don't require the calls to start from a certain country. Skype offers several monthly plans that it calls unlimited.
However, Skype limits these subscriptions to 10,000 minutes per month, 6 hours per day, and 50 telephone numbers per day.
these limits is exceeded, any additional calls are billed at regular rates and connection fees if the user has Skype credit. Users can set up a Skype to go number, which allows them to reach international phone numbers dialed from any landline or mobile.
Skype provides a local number. The user chooses the area code that then connects using Skype credit to the number in another country.
The service also provides the opportunity to dial any number abroad as well. Calls to most toll-free numbers in Australia, +61 1800 Austria, +43 800 Estonia, +372 800 France, +33 800, +33 801, +33 803, +33 805, +33 806, +33 808, +33 809, Germany, +49 800 the Netherlands, +31 800. Poland, +48 800, Spain, +34 900, Taiwan, +886 801, +886 811, the UK, +44 500, +44 800, +44 808. United Nations, +888, and the United States, +1 800, +1 822, +1 833, +1 844, +1 855, +1 866, +1 877, +1 888 are free for all Skype users. Support for toll-free numbers in Canada was effectively removed in January 2012. Skype also does not support calling emergency numbers such as 112 in Europe or 911 in the United States. However, they do support this service in Australia, Denmark, Finland, and the United Kingdom. Skype offers a feature allowing users to set the caller ID for outgoing calls to telephone numbers.
Setup verification involves sending an SMS text message to a selected mobile phone number, then typing that verification code into a web form.
Since most regular home and business telephones cannot receive text messages, this feature is only available to owners of mobile phones. Skype number, formerly called online number and until 2010, named Skype-in, allows a Skype user to receive calls to their Skype client on whatever device, dialed from mobiles or landlines to a Skype provided phone number.
The number need not be in the same location as the user.
For example, a user in San Francisco could create a local telephone number in London.
Callers in London could then make a local call to reach that user who answers on Skype in San Francisco.
Skype offers numbers in Australia, Chile, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Hong Kong, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Republic of Korea, Malta, Mexico, Netherlands, New Zealand, Poland, Romania, South Africa, Sweden, Switzerland, the United Kingdom, and the United States. In Russia, some companies, including SIP operators, provide direct numbers, redirecting calls to Skype. Skype Premium originally bundled together a number of Skype's features, including the selection of a calling subscription, the ability to make group video calls, and the ability to screen share with up to 10 other people. Person-to-person video calls are free. It improved customer support and the removal of ads from the Skype client.
However, the premium product was removed in the summer of 2014 when group video calls and screen sharing were made free.
Skype voicemail, now called voice messaging, was released on March 10, 2005.
This service allows callers to leave voicemail messages for Skype users who are indisposed.
Leaving voicemail messages became a free service in 2012. Skype 2.0 and later on Microsoft Windows, DirectX 9.0 or above required Mac OS X and Linux supports video calling for Skype-to-Skype calls between two parties.
Skype 3.6 and later on Windows and Skype 5.3 and later on Mac supports 720p high-definition video.
Skype 5.8 and later on Windows and Skype 5.5. For Mac support 1080p high definition video with a Logitech C920 webcam as well as the primary use of H.264 video codec instead of VP8 found in past versions.
Whoa!
Skype 3.0.0 on iOS allows iPhone, iPad and iPod Touch users to call each other as well as Windows, Linux and Mac OS X.
Skype 5 supports group video calls.
Sharing of external monitors is also supported via third-party hardware.
In 2019, Skype added an option to blur the background using AI algorithms purely done using software, despite a depth-sensing camera not being present in most webcams. Like many other instant messaging services, Skype clients can send SMS text messages to mobile phone numbers.
In the United States, China, and Taiwan, Skype uses a generic, predefined number as the sender ID.
In other countries, the message can be set to appear coming from a verified mobile number, allowing recipients to reply, or else show the first 11 characters of the Skype username.
However, as of March 2015, Skype users cannot receive SMS, despite a continuing series of requests and complaints.
Costs are generally lower than standard SMS charges. For example, Skype's UK rate per SMS message including VAT is 6.4p, compared to standard rates of 10p or 12p. For international SMS costs will be significantly cheaper using Skype. Skype Wi-Fi, previously called Skype Access, allows users to pay a per minute charge for internet access at commercial wireless hotspots using Skype credit.
As of May 2010, Skype lists more than 100 participating networks.
This replaced an earlier feature, Skype Zones Data, which provided subscription-based access at wireless hotspots operated by Boingo in the cloud. In February 2017, Microsoft announced plans to discontinue its Skype Wi-Fi service globally.
The application will be delisted and the service itself will no longer function after March 31, 2017.
Skype Click to Call, formerly called the Skype Web Toolbar, recognizes phone and Skype numbers and is available for Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox on Windows.
Such numbers on web pages are replaced with an icon that can be clicked to call the number using Skype, or right-click to provide further options, such as adding the number to Skype's list of contacts.
The feature detects phone numbers automatically, but a website developer can override the detection algorithm using a meta element and mark the valid numbers individually. A log file is created for each contact on a user's contact list.
Log files are stored locally, meaning they are not available if a user switches computers.
By default, the option to log conversations is disabled, but can be enabled in the Tools/Privacy panel. On Windows, Skype can be run directly from a USB flash drive without being installed on the host computer.
On Mac OS X, installation on the host computer is not required.
In December 2017, Microsoft added Skype Interviews, a shared code editing system for those wishing to run job interviews for programming roles. Skype supports group text chat with an interface similar to IRC with up to 150 people. The Macintosh version used to use the same message view style format as a DM, though with a different file name extension.
Message view styles made for DM could be installed for Skype, and they did not even need to be renamed.
There were a couple of cosmetic bugs, but ignoring those, the DM styles worked without modification.
The This feature is not present in the Windows, Linux, and Pocket PC versions of Skype.
This feature has been discontinued starting with Skype 2.7.0.49. Since Skype 4, the not available status is supported it.
This status was removed in Skype 5.
Most Skype versions, including version 4, broadcast the status of not available after a configured idle time, but Skype 4 no longer allows the user to edit this setting.
The only way for the user to configure this idle time setting is to edit the idle time for NA setting in the config.xml file.
Since this feature was removed in Skype 5, the edit setting no longer exists in the config.xml file. Skype 5 and above display other users not available status as away. Skype let users set their presence indicator to Skype Me in earlier versions of Skype software.
It invited calls from strangers.
Setting one status to Skype Me attracts a number of callers who want to practice a foreign language, usually English, in addition to the expected scammers and spammers.
This feature has been hidden from being selectable starting with Skype version 4 and removed completely in version 5.
Setting your privacy settings to allow anyone to contact me essentially does the same thing minus the presence indicator itself. Skype casting was released on May 3, 2006.
Skype casts were live, moderated conversations, allowing groups of up to 100 people to converse, moderated by the host, who was able to control who was able to speak.
The host would always remain in control and could invite people into the speaking area.
There was the functionality to mute and eject both speakers and listeners, or add more people to speak from the listener section.
Skype casts did not support chat windows to share text information, such as URL, with participants.
The Skype cast feature was removed in 2008.
Skype Prime was a data feature in Skype 3.1.
It allowed users to call lines that charged a per minute rate usually for advice on a particular topic.
The feature has since been discontinued in later versions of the Windows and Mac clients. Skype Find was a community-generated directory of business reviews in Skype 3.1.
The feature was removed Skype for Windows 4.x client.
The business directory replaced Skype Find but has also been discontinued from version 5.x of the Windows client. Earlier Skype versions allowed the user to search the Skype directory for random people to talk to.
This feature was effectively discontinued since Skype 4.0.
In current Skype releases you can only add contacts, for which you know one of the following pieces of information: email address, phone number, full name, or Skype name. At the end of 2010, there were over 660 million worldwide users, with over 300 million estimated active each month as of August 2015.
At one point in February 2012, there were 34 million users concurrently online on Skype.
In January 2011, after the release of video calling on the Skype client for iPhone, Skype reached a record 27 million simultaneous online users.
This This record was broken with 29 million simultaneous online users on 21 February 2011 and again on 28 March 2011 with 30 million online users.
On 25 February 2012, Skype announced that it has over 32 million users for the first time ever.
By 5 March 2012, it had 36 million simultaneous online users, and less than a year later, on 21 January 2013, Skype had more than 50 million concurrent users online.
In June 2012, Skype had surpassed 70 million downloads on Android. On 19 July 2012, Microsoft announced that Skype users had logged 115 billion minutes of calls in the quarter, up to 50% since the last quarter. On 15 January 2014, Telegeography estimated that Skype to Skype international traffic has gone up to 36% in 2013 to 214 billion minutes. As of March 2020, Skype was used by 100 million people at least once a month and by 40 million people each day. And in March 2020, there was a 70% increase in the number of daily users from the previous month due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
However, Skype also lost a large part of its market share to Zoom.
Multiple different versions of Skype have been released for Windows since its conception.
The original line of Skype applications continued from versions 1.0 through 4.0.
It has offered a desktop-only program since 2003.
Later, a mobile version was created for Windows phones.
In 2012, Skype introduced a new version for Windows 8 similar to the Windows Phone version.
On 7 July 2015, Skype modified the application to direct Windows users to download the desktop version, but it was set to continue working on Windows RT until October 2016.
In November 2015, Skype introduced 3 new applications, call messaging, Skype video, and phone, intended to provide an integrated Skype experience on Windows 10.
On 24 March 2016, Skype announced the integrated applications did not satisfy most users' needs and announced that they and the desktop client would eventually be replaced with a new UWP application, which was released as a preview version for the Windows 10 anniversary update and dubbed as the stable version with the release of the Windows 10 Creators Update.
The latest version of Skype for Windows is Skype 11, which is based on the Universal Windows platform and runs on various Windows 10 related systems, including Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, Windows phones, and Microsoft HoloLens.
Microsoft still offers the older Skype 8, which is Win32, based and runs on all systems, from Windows XP, which is otherwise unsupported by Microsoft, to the most recent release of Windows 10.
In late 2017, this version was upgraded to Skype 12.9, in which several features were both removed and added. Other desktop clients are Mac OS 10.9 or newer.
On Linux, Debian-based, Ubuntu, etc., Fedora, OpenSUSE.
Mobile clients are iOS and Android. Skype was previously available on Java Mobile's Nokia X, Symbian, BlackBerry OS and BlackBerry 10 devices.
In May 2009, a version 3.0 was available on Windows Mobile 5 to 6.1, and in September 2015, a version 2.29 was available on Windows Phone 8.1. In 2016, Microsoft announced that this would stop working in early 2017 once Skype's transition from peer-to-peer to client-server was complete.
Other platforms are the Nokia N800, N810, and N900 Internet tablets, which run Maemo.
The Nokia N9, which runs MeGo, comes with Skype voice calling and text messaging integrated. However, it lacks video calling.
Both the Sony Millicom 1 and Com 2 models.
The PlayStation Portable Slim and Light series, though the user needs to purchase a specially designed microphone peripheral.
The PSP 3000 has a built-in microphone, which allows communication without the Skype peripheral.
The PSP Go has the ability to use Bluetooth connections with a Skype application in addition to its built-in microphone.
Skype for PlayStation Vita may be downloaded via the PlayStation Network in the US.
It includes the capability to receive incoming calls with the application running in the background.
The Samsung Smart TV had a Skype app, which could be downloaded for free.
It shares the built-in camera and microphone for the newer models.
Alternatively, a separate mountable Skype camera with built-in speakers and microphones is available to purchase for older models.
This functionality has now been disabled along with any other TV-based Skype clients.
Some devices were made to work with Skype by talking to a desktop Skype client or by embedding Skype software into the device.
These were usually either tethered to a PC or have a built-in Wi-Fi client to allow calling from Wi-Fi hotspots, like the Netgear SPH101 Skype Wi-Fi phone. The SMCW-SKP100 Skype Wi-Fi phone, the Belkin F1PP000GNSK Wi-Fi Skype phone. The Panasonic KXWP1050 Wi-Fi phone for Skype Executive Travel Set, the IPEVOSO 20 Wi-Fi phone for Skype and the Linksys CIT200 Wi-Fi phone.
3G Skype phone, created in collaboration between Skype and Free in 2007. Third-party developers, such as TruePhone, Nimbuzz, and Fring, previously allowed Skype to run in parallel with several other competing VoIP/IM networks. TruePhone and Nimbuzz provide TruePhone Out and Nimbuzz Out as a competing paid service in any Symbian or Java environment.
Nimbuzz made Skype available to BlackBerry users and Fring provided mobile video calling over Skype as well as support for the Android platform.
Skype disabled access to Skype by Fring users in July 2010.
Nimbuzz discontinued support of Skype on request in October 2010.
Before and during the Microsoft acquisition, Skype withdrew licensing from several third parties producing software and hardware compatible with Skype.
The Skype for Asterisk product from Digium was withdrawn as no longer available for sale.
The Cineo SM358 Plus long range, 10 to 15 kilometers, cordless phone was discontinued due to loss of licenses to participate in the Skype network as peers.
In combination, these two products made it possible to create roaming cordless mesh networks with a robust handoff.
Skype uses a proprietary internet telephony VoIP network called the Skype protocol.
The protocol has not been made publicly available by Skype, and official applications using the protocol are also proprietary.
Part of the Skype technology relies on the Global Index P2P protocol belonging to the Jolted Limited Corporation.
The main difference between Skype and standard VoIP clients is that Skype operates on a peer-to-peer model originally based on the Kazaa software. Rather than the more usual client, Server model. Note that the very popular Session Initiation Protocol, SIP, model of VoIP is also peer-to-peer. The implementation generally requires registration with the server, as does Skype.
On 20 June 2014, Microsoft announced the deprecation of the old Skype protocol.
Within several months from this date, in order to continue using Skype services, Skype users will have to update the Skype applications, released in 2014.
The new Skype protocol, Microsoft Notification Protocol 24, was released.
The deprecation became effective in the second week of August 2014.
Transferred files are now saved on central servers. As far as networking stack support is concerned, Skype only supports the IPv4 protocol.
It lacks support for the next generation Internet Protocol, IPv6.
Skype for Business, however, includes support for IPv6 addresses, along with continued support of IPv4. Many networking and security companies have claimed to detect and control Skype's protocol for enterprise and carrier applications.
While the specific detection methods used by these companies are often private, Pearson's chi-squared test and naive data classification are two approaches that were published in 2008.
Combining statistical measurements of payload properties, such as light frequencies and initial light sequences, as well as flow properties, like packet sizes and packet directions, has also shown to be an effective method for identifying Skype's TCP and UDP-based protocols. Skype 2.x used G.729, Skype 3.2 introduced SVOPC, and Skype 4.0 added a Skype created codec called Silk, intended to be lightweight and embeddable.
Additionally, Skype has released Opus as a free codec, which integrates the Silk codec principles for voice transmission with the Silk codec principles for higher quality audio transmissions, such as live music performances.
Opus was submitted to the Internet Engineering Task Force, IETF, in September 2010.
Since then, it has been standardized as RFC 6716.
VP7 is used for versions prior to Skype 5.5. As of version 7.0, H.264 is used for both group and one-on-one video chat at standard definition, 720p and 1080p high definition. The Skype protocol is a proprietary internet telephony network used by Skype.
The protocol specifications have not been made publicly available by Skype, and official applications using the protocol are closed source.
The Skype network is not interoperable with most other voice over IP, VoIP, networks without proper licensing from Skype.
Numerous attempts to study or reverse engineer the protocol have been undertaken to reveal the protocol, investigate security, or allow unofficial clients.
On June 20, 2014, Microsoft announced the deprecation of the old Skype protocol.
Within several months from this date, in order to continue using Skype services, Skype users had to update the Skype applications, released in 2014. And users were not able to log into older Skype versions, clients.
No announcement has been made on whether smart TV and hardware phones with built-in Skype functionality will continue to work without interruptions.
The new Skype protocol, Microsoft Notification Protocol 24, promised better offline messaging and better messages synchronization across Skype devices.
The deprecation became effective in the second week of August 2014. Skype was the first peer-to-peer IP telephony network.
The network contains three types of entities: supernodes, ordinary nodes, and the login server.
Each client maintains a host cache with the IP address and port numbers of reachable supernodes.
The Skype user directory is decentralized and distributed among the supernodes in the network.
Supernodes are grouped into slots, 9 to 10 supernodes, and slots are grouped into blocks, 8 slots. Previously, any client with good bandwidth, no restrictions due to firewall or network address translation, NAT, and adequate processing power, could become a supernode.
This placed an extra burden on those who connected to the internet without NAT, as Skype used their computers and internet connections as third parties for UDP hole punching. To directly connect two clients both behind NAT, or to completely relay other users' calls.
In 2012, Microsoft altered the design of the network and brought all supernodes under their control as hosted servers in data centers.
Microsoft at the time defended the move, saying they believe this approach has immediate performance, scalability, and availability benefits for the hundreds of millions of users that make up the Skype community.
At the time, there was some concern regarding the privacy implications of the change, which appeared to have been proven true with the revelation of the PRISM surveillance program in June 2013. Skype does not support the use of the IPv6 protocol, which would greatly reduce the complexity associated with the aforementioned IPv4 communication structure. Supernodes relay communications on behalf of two other clients, both of which are behind firewalls or one-to-many network address translation.
Without relaying by the supernodes, two clients with firewall or NAT difficulties would be unable to make or receive calls from one another.
Skype tries to get the two ends to negotiate the connection details directly, but sometimes the sum of problems at both ends can prevent direct conversation being established. The problems with firewalls and NAT can be: the external port numbers or IP address are not derivable because NAT rewrites them.
The firewall and NAT in use prevents the session being received.
UDP is not usable due to NAT issues such as timeout.
Firewalls block many ports.
And TCP through many to one NAT is always outward only by default. Adding port forwarding settings to the NAT router can allow reception of TCP sessions. Signaling is encrypted using RC4, however, the method only obfuscates the traffic as the key can be recovered from the packet.
Voice data is encrypted with AES.
The Skype Client's Application Programming Interface, API, opens the network to software developers.
The Skype API allows other programs to use the Skype network to get white pages, information, and manage calls.
The Skype code is closed source and the protocol is not standardized.
Parts of the client use Internet Direct in an open source socket communication library.
On July 8, 2012, a researcher from Benin, Unio Medican, released articles and proof of concept code, results of his reverse engineering the Skype client. Many networking and security companies claim to detect and control Skype's protocol for enterprise and carrier applications.
While the specific detection methods used by these companies are often proprietary, Pearson's chi-squared test and stochastic characterization with naive data classifiers are two approaches that were published in 2007.
The RC4 encryption algorithm is used to obfuscate the payload of datagrams. 1. The CRC32 of public source and destination IP, Skype's packet ID are taken.
And 2. Skype obfuscation layers initialization vector, IV.
The XOR of these 232-bit values is transformed to enabling RC4 key using an unknown key engine. A notable misuse of RC4 in Skype can be found on TCP streams. UDP is unaffected.
The first 14 bytes, 10 of which are known to the user, since they consist of a hash of the username and password, are XORed with the RC4 stream.
Then, the cipher is reinitialized to encrypt the rest of the TCP stream. TCP packets. TCP.
Skype.NET TCP packet.
The Skype.NET TCP packet contains the seed, 4 bytes.
Init underline str string 0001000001000001 /03.
Almost all traffic is ciphered.
Each command has its parameters appended in an object list.
The object list can be compressed. Ink.
CMD.
Encode.
Object list.
Compressed list.
Frag.
A neck. Neck. Forward.
Forwarded message.
An object can be a number, string, an IP, port, or even another object list.
Each object has an ID.
This ID identifies which command parameter the object is. Object.
Number.
IP, port.
List of numbers.
String.
An RSA key.
Object list.
List size N.
Object 1.
Dot.
Dot 2.
An object N.
Packets can be compressed.
The algorithm is a variation of arithmetic compression that uses reals instead of bits.
Reverse engineering of the Skype protocol by inspecting / disassemble and binaries is prohibited by the terms and conditions of Skype's license agreement.
However, European Union law allows reverse engineering a computer program without getting a permission from an author for interoperability purposes.
In the United States, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act provides protections for reverse engineering software for the purposes of interoperability with other software.
There are also legal precedents in the United States when the reverse engineering is aimed at interoperability of file formats and protocols.
In addition, some countries specifically permit a program to be copied for the purposes of reverse engineering. Skype acquired the video service Chip in 2011.
After shutting down Chick in April 2014, Skype relaunched the service as Skype Chick on 14 October 2014.
Although Chick offered video conferencing and internet streaming, the new service focuses on mobile video messaging between individuals and groups. Skype Chick was a video messaging service by Skype.
It was created by the company Skype Technologies, who acquired Chick.
The service, offered for Android, iOS, and Windows Phone devices, allowed users to exchange video messages between individuals or within a group. Previously, the Chick service offered a mobile-based live video sharing website and two-way video conferencing application that allowed users to stream live video from their cell phones to the internet.
Chick enabled users to record and upload video directly from supported cell phones.
Chick, a Silicon Valley startup, launched its alpha version in December 2007 and went into public beta in July 2008. Chick was compatible with approximately more than 140 cell phones.
Chick videos can be shared on numerous services including OV-Share, Facebook via Facebook Connect, Twitter, Livestream, 12 Seconds TV, YouTube, Blogger, Facebook, Tumblr, WordPress, Dig, StumbleUpon, Delicious, MySpace, and Technorati.
The videos can also be shared directly on the Chick website or embedded on a web page for live or pre-recorded videos. The company's headquarters were located in Redwood City, California, with a satellite office that was located in Zelenograd, Moscow, Russia. It was announced on January 6, 2011, at CES that Skype had acquired Chick for a sum of $150 million. On February 22, 2016, Microsoft announced their plans to retire the Skype Chick app on March 24, citing low usage.
Many features from the app have been integrated into the Skype app.
Chick was founded in a garage by Ramu Sankara, Bhaskar Roy and Nikolai Abkarov in 2006. In April 2008, Chick received $3 million, $3.76 million in 2021 in Series B funding from Mark Benioff, Salesforce.com, Arjun Gupta, Telesoft Partners, and George Yerrick, Jingle Networks.
In September 2008, a month after its beta release, Chick received an undisclosed amount of investment from Netscape veterans Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz.
Both agreed to serve as board advisors on Chick. In mid-2009, Chick received another round of funding under $5.5 million, $6.85 million in 2021 from Peter Lokianoff at Almas Capital and Quest Venture Partners and some private investors. In January 2011, Skype acquired Chick for $150 million. On March 19, 2014, Skype and Chick users received emails announcing the original Chick service was being retired.
Notification of the impending shutdown was also posted on the company website.
The Chick service was subsequently shut down on April 30, 2014. The new Skype Chick service was launched on October 14, 2014. After 9 years of service, on February 23, 2016, Microsoft decided to shut down Chick. Therefore, users will no longer be able to send or receive any messages via the video chat application.
However, the company has also stated that many features of Chick are available via the Skype app.
Skype uses URLs as Skype user call for a call. Skype was claimed initially to be a secure communication, with one of its early web pages stating, highly secure with end-to-end encryption.
Security services were invisible to the user and encryption cannot be disabled.
Skype claims to use publicly documented, widely trusted encryption techniques for Skype-to-Skype communication, RSA, for key negotiation and the advanced encryption standard to encrypt conversations.
However, it is impossible to verify that these algorithms are used correctly, completely, and at all times. as there is no public review possible without a protocol specification and / or the program's source code.
Skype provides an uncontrolled registration system for users with no proof of identity.
Instead, users may choose a screen name, which does not have to relate to their real-life identity in any way. A name chosen could also be an impersonation attempt, where the user claims to be someone else for fraudulent purposes.
A third-party paper analyzing the security and methodology of Skype was presented at Black Hat Europe 2006.
It analyzed Skype and found a number of security issues with the then current security model.
Skype incorporates some features that tend to hide its traffic, but it is not specifically designed to thwart traffic analysis and therefore does not provide anonymous communication.
Some researchers have been able to watermark the traffic so that it is identifiable even after passing through an anonymizing network.
In an interview, Kurt Sauer, the chief security officer of Skype, said, "We provide a safe communication option. I will not tell you whether we can listen or not."
This does not deny the fact that the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, monitors Skype conversations.
Skype's client uses an undocumented and proprietary protocol.
The Free Software Foundation, FSF, is concerned about user privacy issues arising from using proprietary software and protocols and has made a replacement for Skype one of their high-priority projects.
Security researchers beyond the undisclosed have speculated that Skype may have a backdoor, since Skype sends traffic even when it is turned off and because Skype has taken extreme measures to obfuscate the program's traffic and functioning.
Several media sources reported that at a meeting about the lawful interception of IP-based services held on 25 June 2008, high-ranking, unnamed officials at the Austrian Interior Ministry said that they could listen in on Skype conversations without problems.
Austrian Public Broadcasting Service ORF, citing minutes from the meeting, reported that the Austrian police are able to listen in on Skype connections.
Skype declined to comment on the reports.
One easily demonstrated method of monitoring is to set up two computers with the same Skype user ID and password.
When a message is typed or a call is received on one computer, the second computer duplicates the audio and text.
This requires knowledge of the user ID and password. The United States Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has interpreted the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act, CALEA, as requiring digital phone networks to allow wiretapping, if authorized by an FBI warrant, in the same way as other phone services.
In February 2009, Skype said that, not being a telephone company owning phone lines, it is exempt from CALEA and similar laws, which regulate U.S. phone companies, and it is not clear whether Skype could support wiretapping even if it wanted to.
According to the ACLU, the Act is inconsistent with the original intent of the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. More recently, the ACLU has expressed the concern that the FCC interpretation of the Act is incorrect.
It has been suggested that Microsoft made changes to Skype's infrastructure to ease various wiretapping requirements. However, Skype denies the claims.
Sometime before Skype was sold in 2009, the company had started Project Chess, a program to explore legal and technical ways to easily share calls with intelligence agencies and law enforcement. On 20 February 2009, the European Union's Eurojust agency announced that the Italian desk at Eurojust would play a key role in the coordination and cooperation of the investigations on the use of internet telephony systems, VoIP, such as Skype. The purpose of Eurojust's coordination role is to overcome the technical and judicial obstacles to the interception of internet telephony systems, taking into account the various data protection rules and civil rights. In November 2010, a flaw was disclosed to Skype that showed how computer crackers could secretly track any user's IP address.
Due to Skype's peer-to-peer nature, this was a difficult issue to address, but this bug was eventually remedied in a 2016 update.
In 2012, Skype introduced automatic updates to better protect users from security risks but received some challenge from users of the Mac product, as the updates cannot be disabled from version 5.6 on both on Mac OS and Windows versions, although in the latter, and only from version 5.9 on, automatic updating can be turned off in certain cases. According to a 2012 Washington Post article, Skype has expanded its cooperation with law enforcement authorities to make online chats and other user information available to police. The article additionally mentions Skype made changes to allow authorities access to addresses and credit card numbers. In November 2012, Skype was reported to have handed over user data of a pro-WikiLeaks activist to Dallas, Texas-based private security company iSight Partners without a warrant or court order.
The alleged handover would be a breach of Skype's privacy policy.
Skype responded with a statement that it launched an internal investigation to probe the breach of user data privacy. On 13 November 2012, a Russian user published a flaw in Skype's security which allowed any person to take over a Skype account knowing only the victim's email by following 7 steps.
This vulnerability was claimed to exist for months and existed for more than 12 hours since published widely.
On 14 May 2013, it was documented that a URL sent via a Skype instant messaging session was usurped by the Skype service and subsequently used in a HTTP head query originating from an IP address registered to Microsoft in Redmond. The IP address used was 65.52.100.214.
The Microsoft query used the full URL supplied in the IM conversation and was generated by a previously undocumented security service.
Security experts speculate the action was triggered by a technology similar to Microsoft's Smart Screen filter used in its browsers. The 2013 mass surveillance disclosures revealed that agencies such as the NSA and the FBI have the ability to eavesdrop on Skype, including the monitoring and storage of text and video calls and file transfers.
The PRISM surveillance program, which required FISA court authorization, reportedly has allowed the NSA unfettered access to its data center supernodes.
According to the leaked documents, integration work began in November 2010, but it was not until February 2011 that the company was served with a directive to comply signed by the Attorney General, with NSA documents showing that collection began on 31 March 2011. On 10 November 2014, Skype scored 1 out of 7 points on the Electronic Frontier Foundation's Secure Messaging Scorecard.
Skype received a point for encryption during transit but lost points because communications are not encrypted with a key the provider does not have access to. That is, the communications are not end-to-end encrypted. Users cannot verify contacts' identities. Past messages are not secure if the encryption keys are stolen. That is, the service does not provide forward secrecy. The code is not open to independent review. That is, not available to merely view, nor under a free software license. The security design is not properly documented, and there has not been a recent independent security audit.
AIM, BlackBerry Messenger, Buddy XMS, Hushmail, Chick Messenger, Viber and Yahoo Messenger also scored 1 out of 7 points. As of August 2018, Skype now supports end-to-end encryption across all platforms. Cyber sex trafficking has occurred on Skype and other video conferencing applications.
According to the Australian Federal Police, overseas pedophiles are directing child sex abuse using its live streaming services.
Since September 2007, users in China trying to download the Skype software client have been redirected to the site of TaBNWNE, a joint venture between a Chinese wireless operator and Skype, from which a modified Chinese version can be downloaded.
The TOM client participates in China's system of internet censorship, monitoring text messages between Skype users in China as well as messages exchanged with users outside the country.
Niklas Zennström, then chief executive of Skype, told reporters that TOM had implemented a text filter, which is what everyone else in that market is doing. Those are the regulations.
He also stated, one thing that's certain is that those things are in no way jeopardizing the privacy or the security of any of the users.
In October 2008, it was reported that TOM had been saving the full message contents of some Skype text conversations on its servers, apparently focusing on conversations containing political issues such as Tibet, Falun Gong, Taiwan independence, and the Chinese Communist Party.
The saved messages contain personally identifiable information about the message senders and recipients, including IP addresses, usernames, landline phone numbers, and the entire content of the text messages, including the time and date of each message.
Information about Skype users outside China who were communicating with a TOM Skype user was also saved.
A server misconfiguration made these log files accessible to the public for a time.
Research on the TOM Skype venture has revealed information about blacklisted keyword checks, allowing censorship and surveillance of its users.
The partnership has received much criticism for the letter.
Microsoft remains unavailable for comment on the issue. According to reports from the advocacy group Great Fire, Microsoft has modified censorship restrictions and ensured encryption of all user information.
Furthermore, Microsoft is now partnered with Guangming founder, GMF, in China.
All attempts to visit the official Skype webpage from mainland China redirects the user to skype.tbnw.cn.
The Linux version of Skype is unavailable.
Skype is a voice-over internet protocol, VoIP, system developed by Skype Technologies SA.
It is a peer-to-peer network where voice calls pass over the internet rather than through a special-purpose network.
Skype users can search for other users and send them messages. Skype reports that it uses 256-bit Advanced Encryption Standard AES/readable encryption to communicate between Skype clients, although when calling a telephone or mobile, the part of the call over the public switched telephone network, PSTN, is not encrypted.
User public keys are certified by the Skype server at login with 1536-bit or 2048-bit RSA certificates.
Skype's encryption is inherent in the Skype protocol and is transparent to callers.
Some private conversations through Skype, such as audio calls, text messages, and file sending, image, audio, or video, can make use of end-to-end encryption, but it may have to be manually turned on.
The company's security policy states that 1. Usernames are unique.
2. Callers must present a username and password or another authentication credential.
3. Each caller provides the other with proof of identity and privileges whenever a session is established.
Each verifies the other's evidence before the session can carry messages.
And 4. Messages transmitted between Skype users with no PSTN users included are encrypted from caller to caller.
No intermediate node router has access to the meaning of these messages.
This claim was undermined in May 2013 by evidence that Microsoft, owner of Skype, has pinned unique URLs embedded in a Skype conversation. This could only happen if Microsoft has access to the unencrypted form of these messages. Skype holds registration information both on the caller's computer and on a Skype server.
Skype uses this information to authenticate call recipients and assure that callers seeking authentication access a Skype server rather than an imposter.
Skype says that it uses public key encryption as defined by RSA to accomplish this. The Skype server has a private key and distributes that key's public counterpart with every copy of the software.
As part of user registration, the user selects a desired username and password.
Skype locally generates public and private keys.
The private key and a password hash are stored on the user's computer.
Then a 256-bit AES encrypted session is established with a Skype server.
The client creates a session key using its random number generator.
The Skype server verifies that the selected username is unique and follows Skype's naming rules.
The server stores the username and a hash of the user's password HHT \displaystyle HHT in its database.
The server now forms and signs an identity certificate for the username that binds the username, verification key, and key identifier. For each call, Skype creates a session with a 256-bit session key.
This session exists as long as communication continues and for a fixed time afterward.
Skype securely transmits the session key to the call recipient as part of connecting a call.
That session key is then used to encrypt messages in both directions.
All traffic in a session is encrypted using the AES algorithm running in integer counter mode at ICM.
Whoa!
Skype encrypts the current counter and salt with a session key using the 256-bit AES algorithm.
This algorithm returns the key stream, then XORed, with a message content.
Skype sessions contain multiple streams.
The ICM counter depends on the stream and the location within the stream. Skype uses random numbers for several cryptographic purposes.
Purposes include protection against playback attacks, creation of RSA key pairs, and creation of AES key halves for content encryption.
The security of a Skype peer-to-peer session depends significantly on the quality of the random numbers generated by both ends of the Skype session.
Random number generation varies by the operating system.
Skype uses standard cryptographic primitives to achieve its security goals.
The cryptographic primitives used in Skype are the AES block cipher, the RSA public key crypto system. The ISO 9796-2 signature padding scheme, the SHA-1 hash function, and the RC4 stream cipher.
Key agreement is achieved using a proprietary symmetric protocol.
To protect against a playback attack, the peers challenge each other with random 64-bit nonces.
The challenge response is to customize the challenge in a proprietary way and return it signed with a responder's private key. The peers exchange identity certificates and confirm that these certificates are legitimate.
Because an identity certificate contains a public key, each end can then confirm signatures created by the other peer.
Each peer contributes 128 random bits to the 256-bit session key. Another security risk are automatic updates, which cannot be disabled from version 5.6 on both on Mac OS and Windows branches, although in the latter, and only from version 5.9 on, automatic updating can be turned off in certain cases. Chinese, Russian, and United States law enforcement agencies have the ability to eavesdrop on Skype conversations and to have access to Skype users' geographic locations.
In many cases, a simple request for information is sufficient, with no court approval needed.
This ability was deliberately added by Microsoft for law enforcement agencies around the world after they purchased Skype in 2011.
This is implemented by switching the Skype client for a particular user account from the client-side encryption to the server-side encryption, allowing dissemination of an unencrypted data stream.
While Skype encrypts user sessions, other traffic, including call initiation, can be monitored by unauthorized parties. The other side of security is whether Skype imposes risk on its users' computers and networks.
In October 2005, a pair of security flaws were discovered and patched.
Those flaws made it possible for hackers to run hostile code on computers running vulnerable versions of Skype.
The first security bug affected only Microsoft Windows computers.
It allowed the attacker to use a buffer overflow to crash the system or to force it to execute arbitrary code.
The attacker could provide a malformed URL using the Skype URI format and lure the user to request it to execute the attack.
The second security bug affected all platforms. It used a heap-based buffer overflow to make the system vulnerable. Issues, including several potentially affecting security, included. Skype code is proprietary and closed source, and it is not planned to become open source software, according to Niklas Zennström, co-founder of Skype, who responded in 2004 to questions on the Skype security model saying, "We could do it, but only if we re-engineered the way it works, and we don't have the time right now."
If the software source were available, peer review would be able to verify its security.
On 13 November 2012, a Russian user published a flaw in Skype security which allowed any non-professional attacker to take over a Skype account knowing only the victim's email in 7 simple steps.
This vulnerability was claimed to exist for months and was not corrected until more than 12 hours after it was published widely.
The fact that Skype records data about calls, but not the message contents, in a history file saved on the user's computer.
Attackers who gain access to the computer can obtain the file.
Skype can consume other users' bandwidth.
Although this is documented in the license agreement, EULA, there is no way to tell how much bandwidth is being used in this manner.
There are some 20,000 supernodes out of many millions of users logged on.
Skype Guide for Network Administrators claims that supernodes carry only control traffic up to 10 kilobytes per second and relays may carry other user data traffic up to 15 kilobytes per second for one audio conference call.
A relay should not normally handle more than one relay connection.
Skype's file transfer function does not integrate with any antivirus products, although Skype claims to have tested its product against antivirus shield products.
Skype does not document all communication activities.
This lack of clarity as to content means that systems administrators cannot be sure what it is doing.
The combination of an invited and a reverse engineered study taken together suggests Skype is not doing anything hostile.
Skype can be easily blocked by firewalls.
Skype consumes network bandwidth even when idle, even for non-supernodes, for example, for NAT traversal.
For example, if there were only 3 Skype users in the world and 2 were communicating, the third computer would be taxed to support the application, even if not using Skype at the time.
The large number of Skype computers means that this activity is diffuse. It can lead to performance issues on standby Skype users and presents a conduit for security breaches.
Skype implicitly trusts any message stream that obeys its protocols.
Skype does not prohibit a parallel Skype-like network.
Skype prior to version 3.0.0.216 created a file called one.com in the temp directory, which was capable of reading all BIOS data from a PC.
According to Skype, this was used to identify computers and provide DRM protection for plugins.
They later removed this file, but it is not known whether the BIOS reading behavior was removed.
The URI handler that checks URLs for verification of certain file extensions and file formats uses case-sensitive comparison techniques and doesn't check all potential file formats.
While Skype does encrypt most of its communications, unencrypted packets containing advertisements are pulled from several places, exposing a cross-site scripting vulnerability.
These ads can easily be hijacked and replaced with malicious data.
The privacy of Skype traffic may have limits.
Although Skype encrypts communication between users, a Skype spokesman did not deny the company's ability to intercept communication.
On the question of whether Skype could listen in on their users' communication, Kurt Sauer, head of the security division of Skype, replied evasively, "We provide a secure means of communication. I will not say if we are listening in or not."
In China, text is filtered according to government requirements.
This suggests that Skype has the capacity to eavesdrop on connections.
One of Skype's minority owners, eBay, has divulged user information to the U.S. government.
Security researchers beyond the Indesclo have speculated that Skype may have a backdoor, since Skype sends traffic even when it is turned off, and because Skype has taken extreme measures to obfuscate their traffic and functioning of their program.
Several media sources have reported that at a meeting about the lawful interception of IP-based services held on 25 June 2008, high-ranking but unnamed officials at the Austrian Interior Ministry said that they could listen in on Skype conversations without problems.
Austrian Public Broadcasting Service ORF, citing minutes from the meeting, have reported that the Austrian police are able to listen in on Skype connections.
Skype declined to comment on the reports.
The Skype client for Linux has been observed accessing the Firefox profile folder during execution.
This folder contains all the saved passwords in plain text. If no master password is used, it also contains the user's browsing history.
Access to this file was confirmed by tracing system calls made by the Skype binary during execution.
The Skype client for Mac has been observed accessing protected information in the system address book even when integration with the address book on by default is disabled in the Skype preferences.
Users may see a warning about Skype not attempting to access protected information in the address book under certain conditions. For example, launching Skype while syncing with a mobile device.
Skype has no legitimate reason to access the address book if the integration is not enabled.
Further, the extent of the integration is to add all cards from the address book to the list of Skype contacts along with their phone numbers, which can be accomplished without accessing any protected information. Neither the name nor numbers on cards are protected, and thus the attempt to access information beyond the scope of the integration, regardless of whether or not that integration is enabled, raises deeper questions as to possible spying on users.
The United States Federal Communications Commission, FCC, has interpreted the Communications Assistance for Law Enforcement Act, CALEA, as requiring digital phone networks to allow wiretapping, if authorized by an FBI warrant, in the same way as other phone services.
In February 2009, Skype said that, not being a telephone company owning phone lines, it was exempt from CALEA and similar laws, which regulate U.S. phone companies.
It is also not clear whether wiretapping of Skype communications is technically possible.
According to the ACLU, the Act is inconsistent with the original intent of the Fourth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. More recently, the ACLU has expressed the concern that the FCC interpretation of the Act is incorrect.
Skype comes bundled with the following locales and languages: Arabic, Bulgarian, Catalan, Chinese, Traditional and Simplified, Croatian, Czech, Danish, Dutch, English, Estonian, Finnish, French, German, Greek, Hebrew, Hungarian, Indonesian, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Latvian, Lithuanian, Nepali, Norwegian, Polish, Portuguese, Brazilian and European, Romanian, Russian, Serbian, Slovak, Slovenian, Spanish, Swedish, Thai, Turkish, Ukrainian, and Vietnamese. As the Windows desktop program offers users the option of creating new language files, at least 80 other, full or partial, localizations are also available for many languages. In January 2010, Skype rescinded its policy of seizing funds in Skype accounts that have been inactive, no paid call, for 180 days.
This was in settlement of a class action lawsuit.
Skype also paid up to $4 to persons who opted into the action. As of February 2012, Skype provides support through their web support portal, support community, at Skype support on Twitter, and Skype Facebook page.
Direct contact via email and live chat is available through their web support portal.
Chat support is a premium feature available to Skype Premium and some other paid users. Skype's refund policy states that they will provide refunds in full if customers have used less than €1 of their Skype credit.
Upon a duly submitted request, Skype will refund you on a pro rata basis for the unused period of a product.
Skype has come under some criticism from users for the inability to completely close accounts.
Users not wanting to continue using Skype can make their account inactive by deleting all personal information except for the username.
Due to an outage on 21 September 2015 that affected several users in New Zealand, Australia, and other countries, Skype decided to compensate their customers with 20 minutes of free calls to over 60 landline and 8 mobile phone destinations. Although Skype is a commercial product, its non-paid version is used with increasing frequency among teachers, schools, and charities interested in global education projects.
A popular use case is to facilitate language learning through conversations that alternate between each participant's native language.
The video conferencing aspect of the software has been praised for its ability to connect students who speak different languages, facilitate virtual field trips, and engage directly with experts. Skype in the Classroom is another free-of-charge tool that Skype has set up on its website, designed to encourage teachers to make their classrooms more interactive and collaborate with other teachers around the world.
There are various Skype lessons in which students can participate.
Teachers can also use a search tool and find experts in a particular field.
The educational program Skype a Scientist, set up by biologist Sarah McAnulty in 2017, had in 2 years connected 14,312 classrooms with over 7,000 volunteer scientists.
However, Skype is not adopted universally, with many educational institutions in the United States and Europe blocking the application from their networks. That's it for this case today. Thank you for watching, and we hope you will enjoy the newly remastered of the original Season 1 series.
And be sure to hit a like, subscribe to our channel, and turn on post notifications for more newly upcoming videos.
And we will see you in episode 2. Signing off, and have a nice day, everyone.